Hey guys, welcome back to Alicia in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing a easy steak and rice bake, which is good to do if you have leftover steak or even leftover rice that you don't know what to do. You don't know what to cook for dinner. But yeah, today is going to be an easy meal. All right, so what I'm using is a normal stuff. That I'm not using anything out of the ordinary. So yeah, it can be anything that is in your kitchen. So what I'm going to be using is, I say, about a pound and a half of cut up steak, which I got from the local market, and they just cut it up for me. I am going to be using different seasoning. You can use your own seasoning, but these are seasonings that I like to put in my steak and rice bake. But again, you can use your own. Alright, so what I am using is stir-fried rice. You could also use other kinds, but I only have stir-fried rice. So that's what I am using. I am going to use an onion, a green pepper, a little Worcester sauce to spice it up a little bit. And then I am going to mix in beef and chicken broth. I feel like beef is a little salty, so I'm going to use both of them. So what I did is I washed the steak off. Make sure you watch your meat, okay? I'm not measuring anything. I'm just eyeballing it. But you can measure if you want to measure, but like I said, eyeballing it to see what is right and what is not right. But I would say about a tablespoon and a half of each seasoning, or whatever you using. Okay, then I'm putting in a little Worcester sauce just for the steak. Get the steak a little tenderizer to it. Okay, so what I did was I just mixed the seasoning in. Make sure each piece of steak has some seasoning on it. Which I didn't let it sit for a while, but it's okay because I am going to put it in a pressure cooker. So I do have a pressure cooker. You could also cook this on the stove, but I find it easier and it gets more softer in the pressure cooker than it would do on the stove. So yeah, if you have a pressure cooker, I would recommend using the pressure cooker, but it gets softer. And then you just add in your beef broth and your chicken broth, or just beef broth if you just using beef broth. I did use just beef broth for the steak to cook. And then I just mixed it a little bit to make sure that the steak will hit the bottom of the pan, because it's not that much in there. I didn't use that much steak where they have to be thrown on top of each other. Alright guys, so in my air fryer, all I am going to do is put it on high for 10 minutes. It depends on what type of steak you're using, but mine only need 10 minutes to soften up, which, as you can see, it is softening, it is done, and you see the juices are still in there. So that's why I said it's always best to cooking it, pressure cooking it on the stove. You gotta keep on adding water and stuff. But yeah, it has softened it up. The onion and green pepper, all I did was I cut them up. I cut my green pepper up a little different because I was thinking about cutting them in small pieces. What? Do not cut them in small pieces. Cut your onions and green peppers in big pieces, big chunks. It's always better to have big chunks instead of the small pieces. And a steak and rice bake. But all I'm doing is I'm just separating the onions, so when I put them in the pan, they won't be whole. They will already be separated, and I won't have to keep going back and trying to separate them while they are cooking on the stove. But yeah, cut. Make sure you cut them up in whole pieces, big pieces. Okay, all I did was I transferred my meat into a stovetop pan because I have not mastered how to cook rice in a pressure cooker just yet. But I'm getting there. But yeah, I just transfer it and I'm just letting the pans warm up before I put my rice in there and my vegetables. So what I'm going to do is just take the onions and green peppers and go ahead and put it in there with the steak. Let them get a little bit soft some before I add the rice. I don't know about you, but I like my veggies soft than hard. It always depends on the person. You like them harder. You can also put them in there after the rice bake is done. It, like I said, it depends on what type of person you are. All right, so you just mix it up. Let those veggies hit some of that juice. The more is in the juice, the more it will get softer when it bakes. And it get a little of that seasoning up in it. So all I'm doing just mixing, make sure everything is mixed together. All right, so what I'm doing, I'm just putting a little more seasoning of those minced onions. Just the seasoning, the veggies. You can skip this step if you want to, but hey. All right, so all I'm doing is I'm taking the rice that was in the boxes, the rice-a-roni, and I'm just pouring it in this pan. At this time, everything's going to go into one pan. All right, so stirring it will make sure to let you know how much water you would need for the rice to cook, which I wouldn't need much because the water from the steak and the beef broth did a good amount in it. All right, so I'm just pouring in water. Just pouring in water to make sure everything is covered. You could also use the rest of your beef broth or chicken broth or what you did use just to fill the pot up. Make sure the rice is able to cook and it'll come out hard. And then just put in a lid over top of it. Just so it will cook. All those juices won't seep out and be dry. All right, so this is what mine look like after it was cooked. As you can see, that steak is soft. That is falling off into the meat. That is not hard. And you see the veggies they had cooked and softened. And look at that piece. It looks it looks delicious. I was about to say gorgeous. It looks delicious. That masterpiece looks delicious. I'm just starting to make sure that my rice has cooked all the way through. If your rice did not cook all the way through, you can just throw in some more water and just keep cooking. But mine did cook all the way through, so all I'm gonna throw in is a little Worcestershire sauce to spice it up a little bit. You can also skip this step. You don't have to have this, but I did put in a little bit of mine just to spice it up a little bit. But yeah, look at it. That looks delicious. Alright, this is what it came out as. Doesn't that look delicious? If you made it, let me know down in the comments below. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.